Okay folks, what we're going to be looking at today is a quick kind of method of applying creating a montage sequence using a series of masks. I'm actually just going to open up a Photoshop file which is going to encompass all of these images, similar to an earlier tutorial that I've done before. If I hit open, you'll notice that what I've done here is generated a blank A4 piece of paper, and I've brought in a series of images and just arranged them in a particular sequence. Now, what I'm intending to do is try and blend these images in together to create some kind of montage. Now, there is a lot of white here, so it might not have, kind of desired effect, but I've tried to create a theme, and if I apply a mask, we'll see how that works. So I'm going to start on the Incredibles layer because that is the top layer, and I'm trying to blend that in to the image of Woody and Buzz behind them. First thing I've got to do is apply a mask to that layer. So click on, and there's my mask. Remember, white in this case is this white rectangle is representing the whole of this image, of this layer. So there's no effect put in place. Now the opposite of white, again, remember, in the package is black, and that's what we'll be looking at using to try and remove part of the image. Now if I use the brush tool and set it up, what we'll do first of all is actually have a wee look at using the gradient tool. If I select the gradient tool, you'll notice the default is from black to white. You can change that. The black to white is what we're looking for because that's the effect it will have on the mask. And if I draw a line across, you'll see that has generated black gradient going across the mask and has in turn affected the image. Now you can reuse this image, however, or reuse this technique, but you only really get a chance to kind of use it once. After that, you'll be looking at using the brush tool and adjusting, the size of your brush and your hardness, and perhaps even your opacity, to then remove the rest of the image. Now remember that this masking technique that we looked at before with the image of Monument Valley and also Route 66 allows us to be able to remove segments of the image and have a lot more control of it compared to using that of a rubber. Now you'll notice that that's appearing as it is there. If there was any mistakes made, I'm going to do one for an example, where I've cut away or removed part of the image, I simply flip the colour around to white, and again remember that the white and black here being opposites allows me to paint back part of the image, and it has a lot more control than using a rubber. Now I can continue going around each of these layers, adding on the vector masks, or layer masks rather, and also flipping between the black and the white and the adjustment sizes of my brushes and opacity to try and blend these images together. And I'll just open up a kind of after example, okay, to show you how that's been done. So you'll see each of the layers have a mask, all but the Ratatouille layer. Now that's because it doesn't really have anything that's it's affecting. There's nothing behind it to really remove. It's sitting on a white background. And if I could just zoom in, I'll show you, how the images have been cut apart to lie on top of each other. Okay, an crude example of a kind of montage sequence, giving you a lot more control using these masks, black and white, and your brush.